Welcome back to Healthy Living. So we're going to pick up our topic of men's health again, and now I have with me Alyssa Ard. Alyssa is an ultrasonographer with St. Tammany Health System. Thank you for coming in today.
Of course, my pleasure.
Good to see you.
You as well.
So we are going to talk about men's health. We're going to talk about what you do, and it really applies to men and women. But since we're focused on men's health, we'll we'll speak to it from that angle. But let's tell people a little bit about Alyssa.
Yeah, so I'm an ultrasound tech with St. Tammany Health System. I'm from Walker. Also in the military. I'm in the Army National Guard for Louisiana, and in my free time I like to do CrossFit. I like to play beach volleyball, just kind of stay active.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on with Alyssa. She's a phenom, so we're happy to have her, and we're happy to have you here to talk about this because you have such a wealth of knowledge about it. So carotid ultrasound screenings, why are those important?
So they're important because plaque can build up in our arteries due to like high cholesterol, and that plaque buildup can cause blockage of flow to the brain, which is what we don't want, because poor flow to the brain is something that can cause a stroke.
Okay, so where is the carotid artery for people who might not know?
You have two. They're on each side of your neck, so blood flow from the heart to the brain. So yeah, it's just important to make sure that flow is wide open, and you don't want anything like that to happen, because it's one of those things. It might start off with like dizziness, loss of hearing, vertigo and stuff, but when it hits, it's kind of late. So people who have no clue that they have anything going on in there, doing a screening is good, because otherwise they don't know till it's too late.
So tell us about the screening itself.
So the screening itself, it's just like Bert said, it's normal ultrasound. It's vascular, so it's warm gel on each side of your neck. We are looking at the pulse. We are looking at different views of that artery to make sure it's wide open. We also Doppler the flow of your internal carotid artery to make sure the pulse isn't too high, because maybe we see plaque buildup that's causing a block, and it's indicative of a piece could break off. And if that piece breaks off and floats up, so we can only go so high, we can't penetrate through the bone, but if that pulse is very, very high, once we start Dopplering up towards the brain, then we could be like, oh, that's a problem. It's indicative of carotid artery disease, which we don't want. And
then you would recommend for the patient to see someone else about that.
Yeah, so this is just a screening. People ask all the time, does this go into my chart? And I'm like, we don't save images. It's just a screening. But if it's a concerning scan, we'll tell you, go to your doctor, let them know, and they can order a diagnostic ultrasound in which we do the entire carotid very thoroughly, Doppler the entire thing, take lots of images, and then a radiologist will read the exam and write their report on it to give them like a baseline.
So when would a doctor recommend that for someone? When would my primary care say you need to go get your screening?
So whenever they listen to your pulse, so they might touch their two fingers to your neck and they feel a bruit, which is just like an abnormal pulse, or if you go in for complaints of vertigo, dizziness, headaches, and things like that.
Okay. Now, we've talked about this plenty, about, your carotid artery, it goes to your brain, it goes to your heart. So it can affect lots of things in your body.
It's a big thing with heart health, the whole vascular system. Like I said, it's all about cholesterol. So high cholesterol, the kind of food you eat and everything. And people also ask, is there anything I can do about it to like make it go away? Once you have a little bit of buildup, you can't necessarily make it go away, but you can prevent it from furthering. So that's lowering your cholesterol, lowering your blood pressure, eating healthy, staying in shape, like exercising, keeping your weight down, especially if you're a smoker, stopping to smoke, that's a big one.
Right.
But let's say that I'm scanning you and I do find a blockage, and I can hardly see flow, and the doctor's like, we really need to get this taken care of. They have an in-arterectomy. It's kind of like a roto-rooter for your artery. They're going to go in and they're going to clean it out.
Okay, so that's important for you to say, because we've talked about this also. Lots of people avoid screenings altogether because they're like, I'd rather not know what's going on. So that's one way to look at it, but if you do get the screening and we can do something about it, then you've prolonged the health of that artery.
Yes, a lot of people sit in front of me and tell me, I'm scared or I don't want to do it. I'm like, you want to do it, because when you know and you're not feeling symptoms, you can get taken care of, versus, like I said, when it's too late and you have all these problems, it's a lot harder to take care of.
Yes. There's also a beneficial byproduct of the screening that we've talked about. And what is that? Tell people what is a secondary benefit.
So your thyroid is a butterfly-shaped gland at the base of your neck. It's in charge of different hormones, mainly metabolism, but different body functions. And so while ultrasound cannot detect function of the thyroid, we can look at the just the anatomy of it. So anatomically, it's situated next to our carotid right here in the middle.
Okay.
So we can see like the texture of it. We can see cysts. We can see nodules. And I have had people sit down, and we find a nodule that, to my eye, I know that's not what it's supposed to look like. Normal versus not normal.
Right.
And so that's when I say, you know, your carotids may look great, but I really think you need to go tell your doctor that we found a nodule and that they need to look at it. And people have come back that I've scanned. They're like, oh, I did this last year. They found a nodule and it was cancer, and like it saved my life. Like, thank you so much. So it's a really cool thing that I can do, and that's the cool thing about all ages. So they recommend carotid screenings around the age of 55 when you get a little older.
Yeah.
But even for young people, it's good because, one, if you have a family history, it's always good just to check. But
sure.
Two, you, again, young and healthy carotids, but your thyroid is, you wouldn't even know it because you know, just didn't. It's not till it's too late that you realize it.
There's nothing to it.
No, it's so quick and it's so easy, and it's fun. I like to let people look at the screen while I do it. I feel like it gives them a peace of mind. I kind of like to teach as I go, and they always tell me, thank you so much. It made me feel way better, and it's really cool to see that ultrasound has a lot of different avenues.
Yeah, so if you guys are going to go out to Man Up, check out Alyssa's team. She'll be out there. Well, she won't be out there. Her team will be out there. But is there anything else you want to add about the screening itself, the importance of the screening, anything people should pay attention to or ask you about when they're getting screened?
Kind of like I said, just don't be afraid to do it. A lot of people are scared. Don't be scared. It's good to know. I've found stuff before, and maybe it's not cancerous, or maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's always good to go ahead and know, and don't be afraid to ask any questions. It's just a screening. It's not diagnostic. We're only going to give, you know, so much of our opinion because a radiologist who is certified does need to read it.
Sure.
But we will be honest with you, and if we think you need to see someone, we're going to tell you. We're not going to hide any information from you or anything like that. People are like, are you going to tell me what's wrong? Yes, we will let you know what you need to do.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you coming out and sharing your knowledge with us. It's always good to see you.
You as well.
So thank you all for joining us for Healthy Living. That's going to do it for us today. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.